the Live with Nikki show. I am so excited to tell you guys about my bulletproof coffee and my routine. My coffee is in the background brewing from my Keurig. I like to use organic pods, but you could use whatever pods you have on hand. But coffee is heavily sprayed, so you want to try to use organic, but you know, baby steps. But we will get into the coffee and why it is so good for you on a cognitive level, and it also helps you burn fat. It's actually amazing, and I have my little spicy twist, which I'm going to show you later in the show. But first, we're going to talk about hot topics. And one of the hot topics that I found that was so interesting is that pediatricians actually want to ban baby walkers in the United States. The reason, it is one of the top visits for babies under 15 months of age. Hope not 15 years. No, 15 months of age. It is one of the biggest reasons why babies are visiting the hospital due to head-related and neck injuries. The babies are reported to be falling out of the baby walker, as well as reaching for things on the hot stove. They're able to reach where they weren't able to because they're more mobile, as well as the fact that they could get into household cleaners and so forth. They're also saying that babies are falling down the stairs, but even if you block the stairs, it doesn't really matter because these other related injuries, which is the second biggest cause of them visiting, like I said, is the secondary issues. Do you guys, have you ever had it? I've never had either of my children. I have two girls. I've never had either of them fall out of their baby carrier. Have you? Let me know what you think about this, and if you think that they should be banned, and if you really think that it poses a threat. Hi to everybody that's joining us. Brian, do we have anybody that's joining us, that's commenting? Well, thank you for joining us today, and show your love. Give a heart emoji if you're tuning in and you like the content. A lot of you I know are at work today, and if you were off yesterday for the Jewish holiday, you might be just getting back into the swing of things after starving yourself. So drop us an emoji. You might be watching this later, and we will have it on our website for you to always tune in, and we will be uploading it to Instagram and IGTV, so you guys could check it out on wherever you are on social, as well as YouTube at the Pink and Blue Mag channel. Apple is releasing a new parent control on iPhones. They're set out as ABC News reported that iPhone has an iOS 12 update on the phone, which is totally free, and it's allowing parents to have new control features to control the amount of time that your kid is spending on screen time. They're actually calling it downtime. So what the downtime is that it is allowing you to have parent controls where you could actually shut off certain apps. You could control if your kid is, eating dinner and you want them not to be on it during dinner, or if they have to study, or you could actually turn off certain apps completely, even during bedtime. And, I think that this is relatable for older parents that have older kids and they have homework to do, or you don't want them watching inappropriate things, and obviously you have YouTube Kids. But I think that even moms are guilty of it, like with younger children like myself, because you're giving it to them in restaurants and you're giving it to kind of give yourself a break. But what's happening is that the studies, according to TechCrunch, is that it's affecting childhood development. It's having negative effects on concentration, emotional health, empathy, and they're releasing something called screen time. And this is why, to limit the amount of time of an app or a game. And the families page on Apple's website will have the information for families and all about all of this for you guys to check it out. Maybe we'll do an article on Pink and Blue Mag and link to it. But you could also get weekly reports of your child's activity. So tell us what you guys think about this. I think it's really fascinating. I think we're all guilty of it. So don't get your mom guilt. And don't feel bad. I do it too. Everybody does it. But I think that we need to learn to be a little bit more mindful of our children and the amount of time that they're spending. I know that a lot of us are like, oh, you know, we'll put a little educational app on for you. But I think that in all honesty, it's the amount of time that they're spending is what's having an effect. And you know, basically, we're building the Frankenstein monster, and we're using the power to our benefit, but not our children's benefit. And James Steyer, Chief Executive Officer and founder of Common Sense Media, as CNN is saying that we are seeing a systemic shift that's occurring. He's saying that mobile devices are now as common as homes as in TVs. 98% of households with kids under the age of 8 have a mobile device. What do you think about that? Do you think that's ridiculous? Do you think that's just the era that we're in? I mean, obviously, I'm the type of person that's very social media'd out. I'd say a media junkie. And I love it. I'm a person that thrives on it. I love connecting with other people. And it's my way of connecting with others and the world. I also don't mind it so much for my kids on a limited portion of time. I think that there's great learning apps. I think that it allows them to learn to use digital technology. And it also allows them to have a break from their school day and from everything else to kind of just have like that relaxing time by themselves and quiet time in the room. But I do agree that we should limit it. So moms, let me know, drop me a comment, let me know what you think. We'd love to hear from you. Now we are ready for the coffee. Okay guys, so I brewed my hot piping coffee. It is delicious, it is nutritious. My husband makes fun of me, I'm not gonna lie, because he says that it takes me forever to make my coffee in the morning, but I'll tell you why it's worth it. Let me get my spoon. Okay, so this might wind up being your favorite coffee ever, and I'll tell you why. It is frothy, it is creamy, it's good for your brain, it gives you energy, it gives you mental clarity. I suffer from migraines, it helps with my migraines, and you could use a French press, you could use your coffee machine. Like I said, try to get organic coffee pods. They have them at Loblaws. You could get them at your health food store. Try to get organic coffee if you can. Like I said at the beginning of the show, if you weren't tuned in, it is heavily sprayed coffee, so you want to get that organic, fresh, free. Okay, this is also great for pick-me-up for your workout. Okay, so this is what you do. Take your hot coffee. You can add a teaspoon or you could use a tablespoon of coconut oil. And then it's really good for your skin and your intestinal organs. Coconut oil is a superfood. I use it as a moisturizer. I use it to help take off my under eye makeup. I sometimes use it for my skin, for rashes. It smells good. Butter, organic grass-fed butter. So I was using coconut oil, and then I was using also grass-fed butter. So I was using a teaspoon of this, and then I was using a tablespoon of grass-fed butter, and I was blending it all up, and sometimes I'd add cinnamon and cacao and so forth. Now I've taken it to a new level. So this is Nikki's twist. I use MCT oil, and I like to use either cacao powder or chocolate chunks that has 70% or higher of cacao. You're not using regular chocolate in your coffee, so you could use that to sweeten it. If you don't have sweetener, I suggest using, you could use honey and cacao powder in place. I love to use almond milk, and I use silk almond for coffee that's sweetened. A drop, it's vanilla flavor, or I put in, or I like to put in, what is it called? Coconut milk. The other thing I will caution is, like for today, I'm taking my daughter somewhere, and if I bring my coffee to go, people are allergic to nuts, so be cognizant of that if you're going anywhere. Just as a friendly reminder for health allergies, being mindful of others. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take cinnamon. It spikes your metabolism. Use a half a teaspoon, but I just sprinkle it in. I'm going to use a little bit of cacao, even though I already sweetened it because it's delicious. Yummy, 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 yummy. Just, and you feel like you're in a coffee shop. You feel like you're in Starbucks. It's amazing. Then I take a little bit of cayenne power for that extra spicy Mexican twist. This really jumpstarts your metabolism. A lot of times I use hot water, lemon, and cayenne pepper in the morning, an hour before I eat anything. So when I first get up in the morning, before I do anything or get the kids up, I run downstairs, boil some hot water. If you have an Insta-Hot, that's great. I'm showing you my pumpkin spice because I love pumpkin spice for the fall season, and a little bit of nutmeg. You could put a pinch of that in just to like add some extra flavor. If you have some issues, not to make this a shitty situation, but if you guys have any issues with going to the bathroom, I know a lot of people after labor, you get constipated, you have all these women issues. Put a little bit of fiber in your coffee or laxative. It will help you. Also, the cayenne helps to increase immunity and fight disease. I also like to use my turmeric. So everybody knows about golden lattes. So I also have a turmeric mix that I use, and I do like a tea, which I call my golden milk, and I boil it on the stove. I could do that another day with almond milk and turmeric. But the turmeric is great. It also helps you fight disease. It's anti-cancer properties. It helps you fight all sorts of disease. And another thing is, so I take curcumin. It's a turmeric pill also every night to help me. But that's a whole other, talk to your doctor before trying any of this. This is just friendly advice, so consult your doctor or your naturopath or whoever is guiding your medical health. And this is my MCT oil. So it's called Bulletproof Power Mind and Body Medium Chain Triglycerides. So brain octane is basically or even MCT oil is a chain of triglycerides from coconut oil. It's just derived from it. So you just take a tablespoon and you mix it in. And then we are going to make a huge, foamy, beautiful latte. I will show you how. Also, MCT oil is ketogenic. MCT and coconut oil. So it has C8 and it's a heart of the coconut. It's easily absorbed in the body and it's not stored as fat. And it boosts your metabolism. It has antimicrobial properties and it reduces fat storage and it helps to maintain healthy cholesterol levels. So this is what I do. I take my coffee, my morning routine, and for a quick snack, and the PB2. I love PB2. It's 90% less fat. I use like a tablespoon of it. It's gluten-free. It has 45 calories. Okay, it's going to be loud for 1 second, so hold your ears. Maybe you want to play some music while I do this. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you guys could use any blender that you have at home. I use the Magic Bullet, but you could use whatever you have. And then look at that. Can you zoom in on it? I will show you how good it is. You see it? Frothiness. You see it? It is amazing. It's frothy on top. It literally looks like a restaurant. And if you want to be extra spicy, just take, if you have the pumpkin spice or whatever you want to do, and you just put a little dash on top. It looks pretty. You can even make a heart. And so what I do to store it, I take everything and I mix it in a jar. And I leave it in my cupboard and in the morning I basically take a teaspoon to a tablespoon, whatever I feel like, put in my MCT oil. I don't leave this in the fridge, I leave it in the cupboard, and blend it up, and it is ready. So cheers to all of you that have your afternoon lull, pick me up. This is amazing. I needed that coffee. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about the morning routine. Hold on. That's spicy. I think I put a little bit too much cayenne. So I want to talk to you guys about the morning routine. All of you, I talked to you about my daughter Sienna, and she's my younger one. She's 4 years old. So first you had the terrible twos. Then you had three-nager. Now we have the four. I don't know what the name for the four is, but I'm going to say #FML. My daughter doesn't want to wear sneakers to school. She goes to school, she's too hot. The teacher says send her in Crocs. Now the weather's changing, and they say, okay, send your kid to school with Velcro shoes. So I go out, I buy the sparkly Velcro shoes, they light up, she loves them, great. Today we go to get her dressed in the morning, she's ready to go. 20 minutes early, my husband was going to take her because I was getting ready for the show. And her socks are too small. Then we find another pair of socks. Mommy, I don't like the socks. Then we find another pair of shoes. Anyway, all in all, my husband was having an anxiety attack. And I went and found a different pair of shoes, put them on her feet, and put the shoes in her bag to send with her to school. But I don't know if any of you guys have this problem. If you do, drop me a comment and let me know what you do in these situations, because we're late every day, and then when we get to school, the teacher or the person filling out the form, I feel like a little kid in grade school, and they're looking at me like, I feel so bad for you that you're late again. And last week I was actually legit late because my husband had a doctor's appointment. But moms, we're all in this together, and we're all trying to get to school, and we're all trying to do these things. And I know that at the end of the day, that we're going to look back and we're going to laugh at these moments and miss the times that our kids were little and they had these issues, and we're going to laugh about it. And I know that, you know, now you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I have to wake up so much earlier, and the kids don't listen and they don't go to bed. But I want to hear from you. And if you're interested in us doing an interview with you on your mom life, it could be an amazing recipe or a tip that you want to share with another mom, or it could be your morning routines, getting back into school mode. We want to hear from you, and that's it. So let us know. We would love to hear from you. Next week, we will be going live on Thursday at 12:30, same time, with Samantha Monpetit from Bellies and Core Expectations. She is a resident, she was the resident fitness expert for the Maryland Dennis Show. She will be joining us next week to talk about diastasis recti, core, belly strength, what prenatal tips, postnatal tips. So I'm so excited to have her on the show next week. And I hope all of you have a happy Friday and weekend.